In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on March 28, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Baltimore Orioles versus Toronto Blue Jays. The Baltimore Orioles have done an impressive job assembling a talented young roster over the past few years. They've made steady progress, improving bit by bit, and now it feels like they're on the verge of a real breakthrough. This season could be the one where everything finally clicks, and they make their presence known in a big way. On Friday, they'll go head-to-head with the Toronto Blue Jays, a team that fell well short of expectations in 2024. Last season was a disappointment for Toronto, but they made a lot of moves in the offseason, bringing in fresh talent to strengthen their squad. Their goal in 2025 is clear: bounce back from last year's struggles and become a real contender in the tough American League East. The first game of the series was all about power hitting, with both teams launching baseballs into the seats. In total, 7 home runs were hit on opening day, and Baltimore accounted for 6 of them. They flexed their offensive muscle in a dominant 12-2 victory, setting the tone early in the season. As it stands, the last 10 matchups between these two teams have been evenly split at 5-5, making this series an intriguing battle. For Game 2, the Blue Jays will send Kevin Gausman to the mound. Gausman came into last season as Toronto's ace, and while he struggled early on, he eventually found his rhythm and finished the year strong. His numbers at home in 2024 weren't particularly eye-catching, but he has consistently been a reliable presence when pitching in Toronto. His game plan will be to keep Baltimore's hitters in check by mixing his signature splitters with a steady dose of fastballs, aiming to prevent a repeat of Thursday's home run barrage. On the other side, the Orioles will counter with veteran right-hander Charlie Morton. The 41-year-old is making his return to the American League after spending recent seasons in Atlanta. While Morton was once a dominant strikeout pitcher, he's no longer overpowering hitters the way he used to. Instead, he relies more on forcing weak contact and keeping the ball in play. That approach means the Blue Jays lineup will need to put the ball in play and make things happen offensively rather than waiting for the long ball. With Baltimore's win in Game 1, they've now gone 2-4 in their last 6 games played in Toronto. However, the Blue Jays had success when Gausman faced the Orioles last season, going 1-0 in his starts against them. Given that history and Gausman's ability to settle into a groove, Toronto has a solid chance of evening the series at 1-1. As our first pick for this matchup, the Toronto Blue Jays money line is our full game side pick. The opener of this series was a slugfest, featuring 14 total runs and 7 home runs. That kind of offensive explosion is nothing new when these teams face off, as the over has hit in 7 of their last 10 meetings dating back to June 2024. Over that stretch, these two clubs have averaged 11 combined runs per game, and with so much offensive firepower in both lineups, another high-scoring affair seems likely. Their last 3 games in Toronto have averaged over 10 total runs per contest, so expect plenty of action on the scoreboard once again. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Mets versus Houston Astros. The New York Pikes are gearing up for the second game of their 4-game series in Texas, where they'll take on the Houston Astros this Friday. New York made some big moves during the offseason, bringing in a mix of new hitters and pitchers to strengthen their roster with the ultimate goal of winning a World Series in October. Meanwhile, Houston is facing an uphill battle after losing 4 key players who had been major contributors over the last few seasons. With those departures, the Astros have their work cut out for them in their pursuit of the American League West title. The Astros may be without some key arms in the bullpen for Friday's matchup, but they still seem to be in a slightly better position to take this one. Houston was able to keep their bullpen fresh thanks to Framber Valdez delivering 7 shutout innings in the previous game. On the other side, the Mets also benefited from solid pitching, getting 7 innings combined from Clay Holmes and Huascar Brazoban, meaning their bullpen is also well rested. However, the Mets' offense was mostly lifeless on Thursday, outside of a brief spark in the 9th inning. Meanwhile, the Astros wasted no time applying pressure by scoring early and setting the tone for the game. game. I just have more confidence in the Astros right now, and I think the Mets could be in for a step back in 2025. Hunter Brown got off to a shaky start last season, but he really turned things around as the year went on. I expect him to avoid those early struggles this time and start strong. On the flip side, Tyler Megill isn't exactly one of the more reliable arms in the Mets rotation, and I see the Astros capitalizing on that to secure another win at a fair price. As our first pick for this matchup, the Houston Astros money line is our full game side pick. Both teams have the potential to put up some big numbers soon, especially after the Mets made things interesting by forcing Josh Hader to throw 35 pitches in the last game, making him unavailable for this one, along with Brian Abreu, who threw 25. Neither offense performed well with runners in scoring position last game, going a combined 1-for-1-4, but that should change here. Tyler Megill and Hunter Brown don't carry the same expectations as Framber Valdez and Clay Holmes, so there should be more opportunities for scoring. Neither of these starting pitchers rank among the top two in their respective rotations, which should give both lineups a chance to take advantage. While pitchers usually have the upper hand early in the season, that may not be the case on Friday. Recent trends show New York has gone over the total in 6 straight games, including 5 consecutive on the road. Additionally, when these two teams meet, the total has gone over in 5 of the last 6 matchups. Both teams have the ability to string together a big inning, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them averaging about a run per inning. As our second pick for this game, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Atlanta Braves versus San Diego Padres. The Atlanta Braves are set to take on the San Diego Padres in the second game of a 4-game series this Friday evening. Atlanta is coming off a disappointing loss on opening day, starting the season with a 0-1 record. Meanwhile, San Diego was able to kick off its campaign on a high note, securing a 7-4 victory to improve to 1-0. With both teams looking to gain early momentum, this matchup should be an exciting battle between two squads with postseason ambitions. The Padres are a serious contender in the National League and proved their dominance over the Braves last year by sweeping them in the wild card round. History is not exactly on Atlanta's side in this one either, as starting pitcher Reynaldo Lopez has a track record of struggling early in the season. His career numbers in March and April include a 3.96 earned run average, a 1.35 WHIP, and a 6-8 overall record. While Lopez has the potential to shut down lineups when he's at his best, he doesn't always start the year in top form. On the other side, Padres pitcher Dylan Cease has been a reliable presence on the mound, especially when pitching at Petco Park. Last season, he posted a strong 3.03 earned run average at home. Cease has also handled Atlanta's lineup well in his career, allowing just 6 runs across 15 innings against them. Historically, he tends to settle into a groove early in the year, boasting an impressive 3.28 earned run average and a 1.18 WHIP in March and April. Beyond just pitching, the Padres have a significant edge in other areas. They have one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, a guy who has racked up the most strikeouts in the league since 2023, making him a nightmare for opposing hitters. Atlanta's offense didn't look great with runners in scoring position in their opener, and while that might not be a long-term issue, it could give the Padres some early confidence in this series. On top of that, San Diego's aggressive base-running style, especially with their speed threats on base, will keep Atlanta's defense under constant pressure. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Diego Padres money line is our full game side pick. Lopez may have struggled early in the season in the past, but he was nothing short of dominant last year. If not for injuries, he could have been in the Cy Young conversation after posting a phenomenal 1.99 earned run average and a 1.11 WHIP despite his overall inconsistencies early in the season. He does have a solid track record against San Diego, holding a 3.38 career earned run average against them. However, the Padres have proven capable of keeping Atlanta's bats quiet. Last season, they limited the Braves to an average of just 3.1 runs per game and held them to only 4 total runs in their 2 postseason matchups. Pitching depth will also play a significant role in this game, and both teams have strong bullpens. The Braves finished last season ranked 3rd in overall earned run average, while the Padres were also solid, ranking 10th in bullpen earned run average. That depth makes it less likely that this game turns into a high-scoring affair. Additionally, recent trends support a lower-scoring contest. Cease's last 5 starts have resulted in a 3-1 record for the under. With 2 talented pitchers on the mound and both teams featuring effective relievers, it wouldn't be surprising to see scoring opportunities come at a premium. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Cubs versus Arizona Diamondbacks. The Chicago Cubs are set to face off against the Arizona Diamondbacks in the second game of a 4-game series. With both teams looking to establish early momentum, this matchup could be pivotal. Last season, these two squads went head-to-head 6 times, and neither side was able to gain an upper hand, as they split the series right down the middle at 3-3. This game should offer another compelling battle, with both teams eager to claim an edge. Arizona is putting Merrill Kelly on the mound to start this one, and while he has been a steady presence for the Diamondbacks for several years, there are plenty of questions about how effective he will be at this stage of his career. Now 36 years old and coming off a shoulder injury, Kelly faces the challenge of proving he still has the command and velocity that made him a reliable starter in the past. Once pitchers hit their late 30 seconds, recovering from injuries becomes a tougher hill to climb, and this game will serve as an early test of where he stands. Meanwhile, the Cubs are eager to turn things around after dropping their first 2 games in Tokyo, and they certainly don't want to start their season by losing back-to-back series. On the mound for Chicago is Jameson Taillon, who put up a solid 3.27 earned run average last season. If he can maintain that level of control, he'll give the Cubs a strong chance to keep Arizona's offense in check. The Cubs also added some extra power to their lineup with the acquisition of Kyle Tucker, and this could be the game where he starts to make a real impact, especially against a pitcher like Kelly. When it comes to Merrill Kelly, it's fair to question what kind of performance he will deliver in this outing. At 36, he's coming off a year where injuries limited him to just 13 starts, and he posted a 4.03 earned run average during that stretch. That's not terrible, but it's not exactly reassuring either. His spring training numbers don't do much to boost confidence, as he put up a 4.7 earned run average, gave up home runs at a rate of 1.8 per 9 innings, and had a WHIP of 1.57. Now, spring training stats should always be taken with a grain of salt, but it's still worth noting that he didn't exactly look sharp leading into the regular season. Beyond that, Arizona's bullpen wasn't a strength last year, finishing 25th in earned run average and 26th in WHIP. Given these factors, the Cubs lineup should have plenty of opportunities to generate offense in this game. On paper, the Diamondbacks might appear to be the better team, but I'm siding with the Cubs, especially at plus money. Kelly was hittable last season, and the current Cubs roster has fared decently against him, hitting .263 over 80 at-bats with a .298 on-base percentage. Meanwhile, Taillon has been a steady presence throughout his career, and against this current Diamondbacks lineup, he has held hitters to a .205 batting average while striking out 19 batters and 83 at-bats. The Cubs also seemed to find their offensive rhythm last night, and with 3 games now under their belt, they've had a little more time to settle in compared to Arizona, which is just getting started. With all that in mind, this game feels much more like a coin flip than the odds suggest. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Cubs money line is our full game side pick. The Diamondbacks finished last season with the highest scoring offense in baseball, yet they still missed the playoffs. That fact alone tells you all you need to know. Their pitching struggled to hold up its end of the bargain. Now, they're relying on a 36-year-old starter coming off a shoulder injury to keep Chicago in check, and that seems like a recipe for another high-scoring affair. Arizona's offensive firepower remains largely intact, with key contributors like Kettle Mart, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Corbin Carroll all returning. On top of that, they bolstered their lineup by adding Josh Naylor, another power bat that can help drive in runs. Meanwhile, the Cubs have also reloaded offensively, and Tucker's addition should give them another weapon to help push runs across the plate. Their bats cooled off a bit during their series in Tokyo, but they appear to be waking up, which could make for a back and forth game where the scoreboard gets plenty of action. Chicago's offense is coming off a 10-run outburst on Thursday night, which is a strong indication that they've started to find their groove. Against Kelly, their past performance suggests they can have success, as they're slashing .263, .298, and .338 across 80 at-bats. On the other side, the Diamondbacks were an offensive juggernaut last season. They led the entire league in runs per game and team batting average, while finishing second in OPS. Their lineup is built to do damage, and they wasted no time proving it this season, with Naylor already making an impact by knocking in an RBI single in their opener. With both teams featuring strong offensive units and 2 aging pitchers on the mound, this game sets up perfectly for another high-scoring contest. As these teams get comfortable in the second game of the series, the runs should start piling up. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Tigers versus Los Angeles Dodgers. The Detroit Tigers are set to square off against the Los Angeles Dodgers in an interleague showdown at Dodger Stadium. This matchup presents an early test for both teams as they look to establish momentum in the new season. The Dodgers enter this contest riding high after a strong start, having swept the Cubs in their opening mini-series. Now, with their true home opener at hand, they aim to keep the winning streak alive in front of their fans. Los Angeles has looked like the best team in Major League Baseball so far, but they will have their hands full against Tarik Skubal. Skubal is among the elite pitchers in the game and will be counted on to slow down the Dodgers' offense. On the other side, Detroit remains heavily reliant on its pitching staff, especially since the front office didn't do much to bolster the offense during the offseason. The Tigers' bats will have to step up if they want to hang with a team as deep as Los Angeles. Detroit had every opportunity to come away with a victory on Thursday, making a strong push late in the game after Skubal had some early struggles. They had the go-ahead run on base but couldn't cash in. Now, with Jack Flaherty taking the mound, the Tigers have a starter who knows this Dodgers lineup well and could use that knowledge to his advantage. Flaherty looked sharp in his last outing, and while Yoshinobu Yamamoto has plenty of talent, he may have a tough time navigating Detroit's offense. The Tigers have some capable hitters who could make things interesting. We won't be fading the Dodgers much this season, but with Skubal on the mound and plus money on the table, there's value in backing Detroit. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Jack Flaherty gets the nod for Detroit, and the experienced right-hander is looking to build on a solid 2024 campaign. Last season, he bounced back in a big way, posting a 3.17 earned run average with 194 strikeouts across 162 innings while splitting time between the Tigers and Dodgers. Now at 29 years old, he enters the season with renewed confidence and a chance to prove himself against his former team. The Tigers struggled mightily with runners in scoring position on Thursday, going 0 for 1-5 in key spots. Unfortunately for them, things won't get any easier with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the hill for Los Angeles. The 26-year-old Japanese right-hander looked poised in his MLB debut, limiting the Cubs to just 1 run and 3 hits over 5 innings on March 18th. If he pitches with the same composure, Detroit's offense could be in for another frustrating night. The Tigers posted a below-average 91 OPS plus against right-handed starters in 2024. While they do have some promising left-handed hitters in Riley Green and Colt Keith, it's tough to trust them to generate much offense against Yamamoto and the Dodgers' bullpen. Scoring chances could be few and far between. Jack Flaherty will need to keep his composure in his return to Dodger Stadium, and the Tigers will be hoping their bullpen can hold its own against one of the best teams in baseball. Given the quality of both starting pitchers and the strength of the bullpens on both sides, this has the makings of a low-scoring affair. Expect a tight, defensive battle with runs coming at a premium. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.